Hey everyone, and welcome back. I'm so glad you're here for another deep dive with us. If you're like me, you're fascinated by these, I don't know, just these massive projects, these infrastructure projects that pop up around the world that aim to, completely reshape how entire regions connect and do business and just, well, I guess exist.
Yeah.
Today we're diving into one of those projects, and it's happening right now in East Africa. So picture this, a railway network that stretches across multiple countries, linking Rwanda and Kenya with stops along the way.
Ambitious, huh?
So this is a big deal, and I've got an expert here with me today who can help us break it all down.
Glad to be here.
Okay, so to start, this agreement involves 5 countries, right?
That's right. You've got Rwanda and Kenya, obviously, but it also includes Uganda, South Sudan, and the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Yeah, and I read that this is all part of something called the Northern Corridor Integration Projects.
The NCIP. Yeah, it's basically this big plan to boost economic growth across the entire region. They want to make it easier and more efficient for goods and people to move around.
So like removing barriers to trade, things like that.
Exactly. And it's not just about trade either. They also want to, encourage things like investment, tourism, even cultural exchange. The whole idea is to create this sort of interconnected, dynamic region.
Really fascinating. Okay, so let's talk about the railway itself for a second. The
standard gauge railway.
Right, the STR.
Yeah.
So this thing is going to extend from where it currently ends in Kenya, through Uganda, and all the way to Rwanda.
Yep, a pretty serious stretch of railway.
Yeah, and I'm guessing there's some pretty strategic thinking behind this.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, one of the main goals is to make it easier to get goods to and from the ports on the coast. Think about it right now. If you're trying to move products from, say, landlocked Rwanda to a port in Kenya, it can be a real logistical nightmare.
Yeah, I bet. So this railway would really streamline that whole process.
Exactly. And when you make it easier to move goods around, you open up all sorts of possibilities. Suddenly, businesses in those landlocked countries have better access to global markets. And that can lead to economic growth, job creation, you name it.
Okay, so this is about more than just a faster way to get from point A to point B. This is about opening up these countries to a whole new level of economic activity.
Exactly.
And speaking of activity, I read that there are plans to develop special economic zones along the railway line.
Yeah, that's one of the really exciting aspects of this project. Imagine, turning these train stops into these bustling economic hubs. You could have manufacturing facilities, distribution centers, all sorts of businesses springing up around these new transportation hubs.
Wow. That'd be amazing to see.
Yeah, it could completely transform the economic landscape of the region. And not just for the countries involved either. I mean, think about the potential impact on global trade and investment.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've talked about the goals, the vision, the potential impact. But how are they actually going to make this happen? I mean, building a railway across 5 countries is no small feat.
Sure.
How are they going to fund it?
Right. Well, the agreement outlines that the 5 countries are going to work together to secure the necessary funding.
Okay.
It's a huge financial undertaking. So they're also looking to bring in private sector partners to help finance the construction.
That makes sense.
And they've already started taking concrete steps. In fact, the transport ministers from all 5 countries recently signed a joint communiqué, which basically shows their commitment to making this project a reality.
Wow, so things are moving forward.
Yeah, and they've even set a deadline of May 2024 to finalize the contracts for the construction.
That's pretty soon. So it sounds like they're really serious about getting this done.
They are. And remember, this railway is just one piece of the larger puzzle. It's all part of the NCIP, the Northern Corridor Integration Projects, which aims to improve all sorts of infrastructure across the region.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier.
Right. So we're talking about roads, railways, waterways, the whole shebang. They really want to create a seamless, interconnected network that makes it easy to move goods and people across East Africa.
And that includes improving inland waterways, right? I know Lake Victoria is a major transportation route in the region.
Absolutely. In fact, there's even talk of reviewing and potentially updating a tripartite agreement on Lake Victoria water transport, just to make sure everything is aligned with this larger vision.
Wow, so they're thinking on a really grand scale here. It's incredible to see this level of cooperation and long-term planning.
It is. And, it's not just about the practical aspects of transportation either. This project has the potential to really reshape the geopolitical landscape of East Africa. Think about it. When you connect landlocked countries like Rwanda to coastal ports, it reduces their reliance on existing trade routes.
Right.
That can shift power dynamics, open up new opportunities, and create a whole new set of possibilities for the region.
It's fascinating to consider the ripple effects, right?
Yeah.
Like, how could this project impact economic development, regional cooperation, even cultural exchange down the line? It's a story that's just starting to unfold, and it'll be really interesting to see where it goes from here.
Yeah, for sure. And it makes you wonder what other ambitious projects like this are being dreamed up around the world. I mean, what other regions are looking to connect and transform themselves in this way? I think that's something worth pondering, don't you?
Absolutely. All right, everyone, thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll be keeping a close eye on this project as it develops, so be sure to stay tuned for updates. Until next time.
See you then.
Bye.